Okay, guys, factoring trinomials when a is 1. So when I speak of a, I mean when we had the ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, I'm a huge fan with my Math 3 guys of teaching them what's called a big star. So not just the x that we did earlier today in your bell ringer, but we're going to take it and we're going to amplify it, make it a little more exciting. In this case, it's not necessary, but I'm showing it to you so you can see the pattern and how to use it. So we're going to make an x. We're going to put a bar in it. Okay, so a times c, is going to go on the top. B is going on the bottom. A times x, a times x, and then these are our factors. So you'll see it some places with a p or a q, but either way, it's the factors that you would get from your ACB chart. Now, forewarning, every teacher at Pinecrest, I know for a fact, teaches factoring differently. So when you go to another class, if you have another teacher and they show you a different way, it's not wrong. It's just a different approach to factoring. Again, in this case, a is 1, so these are not as necessary. But I'm just showing you how to set it up, so when we get down to other problems, it'll make more sense. The correlation to our x that we did earlier with the multiple at the top and the add at the bottom, the multiple would have been your c, or a times c, and then 4 on the bottom because that's your add. So in this case, your ACB chart, so I'm looking for a times c, which is 1 times 3, what will add or subtract to give me 4. So multiples, add or subtract to give you 4. 3 is 1 and 3, and that's really it. If I add them together, I get 4. So that one will work. So we're going to be positive 3, positive 1. They're both positive. So we're going to open up our parentheses, x, 3, and 1. Positive and positive. Now, how that would work in our big star, because a is 1, this would be 1x, this would be 1x, this would be your 3 that we had in our bottom down here, and then 4 on the bottom, and then we have 3 and 1. Now, this is not a fraction, but we are going to pretend like it's a fraction and see if it can be reduced. Again, it is not a fraction. Do not treat it as a fraction. We're pretending it's a fraction and see if it can reduce. 1 and 3 cannot reduce, so we're done. So that 1x goes right here. That 3 is positive, so it goes right here. And so this is your first factor, and then this is your second factor, 1x plus 1. Okay? Hopefully when a is 1, you don't have too much trouble. Now, so our x, our multiple on the top is 72, and our add and our subtract is a negative 17. So we're going to try to do it my way. We're going to do a times x. So that's going to be 1x here. And we're looking for the multiples of 72 that will add or subtract to give you a negative 17. Now, 72 is a fun one because I don't know that I know all the multiples of 72 off the top of my head. If you do, that's awesome. If you do not, if you pick up your calculator, so a TI-83 or any graphing calculator, you can type in 72 in your y equals, go to y equals 72 divided by x, and then hit second graph and look at your table, and it'll give you all of your multiples. All of your multiples. I will go figure out how to do that on Desmos as well, and we'll link a video for that or some instructions for that in a bit. But for now, our factors are 72. We know are 1 and 72, or multiples that will give us 72, 2 and 36, and then I have 3 and 24. I have 4 and 18. 6 and 12. 8 and 9. So this is a longer one. And then 9, 8. So it repeats. 1 and 72 are never going to give me 17. 2 and 36 would give me 38 or 34. 3 and 24 would give me 21 or 27. So not good time. So this one won't work. This one won't work. Will not work. 4 and 18 is 14 or 22. So this will give me 6 or 18. But these guys, if I subtracted them from each other, so if I added them, I could get 17 if they were both negative. So we're going to put 9 in the front because I like to put the big one in the front, little guy in the back. So 17 is negative, 72 is positive. If I multiply a negative times a negative, I still get that positive, and then when I add those together, that gives me that negative 17. So this not fraction is not reducible because that's a 1. So our first factor is x minus 9. And again, not fraction is not reducible. So that's x minus 8. And so these are our factors. And you can check that by boxing them back together and multiplying them back together. You absolutely have no reason to submit a wrong answer, especially if anything's ever multiple choice, because you can work backwards. Because yesterday we practiced multiplying those binomials. So that's x times x, x squared, negative 9x. And then I have a negative 8x. And then our negative 8 times negative 9 gives us that positive 72. So x squared minus 17x plus 72. And that is what we started with. So then these are indeed our factors. All right, one more. Okay, so now, first and foremost, A is not 1. Check for a GCF. I have 2, negative 3, negative 2. 3 and 2 do not have a common factor. So we know there's not a GCF. But again, always check for a GCF first. Okay, so we're going to put to use our big star this time. So AC goes on top. So A times C, which is going to give me a negative 4. And then B is going to go on bottom, which is a negative 3. Then A times X. So AX goes here. So 2X, 2X. Now, we need the factors of negative 4. That will add or subtract to give me negative 3. So I have 1 and 4, 2 and 2, and that's it. 2 and 2 will not give me 3. It will give me 4 or 0. So we're definitely going to use the 4 and the 1. So 4, 1. I need a negative 4 and a negative 3. So that means one of these has to be negative. Since the bottom is negative, the bigger guy is negative. Because that means I'm still in the hole. So the small number has to be positive in this case. Now, I'm looking at this not fraction. Again, it is not a fraction. But 2 and negative 4 can be reduced. And that can become a 1 and a negative 2. So 1x, negative 2. So that is 1x minus 2. Or you could write x minus 2. Because remember that 1 is assumed. If I look at this not fraction, the 2x and the 1 cannot be reduced because that's a 1. So it's going to be 2x plus 1. Now, don't take my word for it. We can box it together. And we can check it, or FOIL if that's your choice. So x minus 2, 2x plus 1. 2x times x is 2x squared, negative 4x. If I work 2x times negative 2, x times 1 is 1x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Combine my like terms, I end up with 2x squared minus 3x minus 2, which is what we came from, or the problem that was given for us to factor. So we found our factors, and our factors are x minus 2 and 2x plus 1. All right, so we'll do another one real quick. At any point, if I'm talking too fast, rewind, pause, take notes, whatever you need to do. I'm trying to just not make the video 45 minutes long, if we can. All right, so A is not 1. I have an 8. 8, 2, and 3. Is there a GCF first? So, number 1, is there a GCF? In this case, there is not. It is a trinomial, so my next go-to is going to be big star. For me, that would be the way my brain will work. So remember, A times C, so 8 times a negative 3, A times C. So it's going to go on the top up here. So it's going to get negative 24. And then B, which is the second term, because remember, it's AX squared plus BX plus C. That goes on the bottom. Then we have AX here. So AX, so 8 in this case, and an X, and 8, and an X. And now we're looking for our ACB chart, or our multiples of 24 that will add or subtract to give me 2. And again, you can go to y equals in your TI 83s or 84s and put 24 divided by x, and then hit second graph, and it'll give you all the combos of your factors of 24. So 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and then it's going to 5 is a no, and then back to 6 and 4. So you know you got your full list. 2 and 12 won't give me 2. 1 and 24 can't give me 2. 3 and 8 can't give me 2, but 4 and 6 can. So now I have a 6 and a 4. The 2 is positive, so the big number is going to stay positive. So we're going to make the 4 negative because we got to get to 2. So 6 minus 4 gives me 2. 6 times a negative 4 gives me a negative 24. Now, not fraction, but we're going to pretend and try to reduce it. 8 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So we give it 4, 3, and we got to hold on to that x. So 4x divided by 3, but not divided. Again, we're kind of making up a cheat here. So 4x plus 3. Then we look at our not fraction here. 8 and 4 definitely have one in common. They have 4. So 4 will go into 8 2 times. So I have 2x now. And then 4 goes into 4, 1. So that's a negative 1. So this is going to be 2x minus 1. Again, we can check it by FOIL even. First. So it's going to be 8x squared. Outer, so negative 4x inner. That's 3 times 2x, which will give me 6x. And then last, 3 times a negative 1 will give me 3. That negative 3. Combine our like terms. So 8x squared plus 2x minus 3. And now again, you just factored when a was not 1. So that's using the big star. I'm going to stop the video here because that's 4 examples. If you need more, let me know, and I got you. Have a great afternoon, guys.